I appreciate you joining and also for the kind words. Would you mind introducing yourself a little bit to our listeners and previewing your story without giving away too much on the entrepreneurial side?
Sure. So I was a D1 athlete swimmer from Southern California. So basically in the water for 7 hours a day. Went to Arizona State and swam for them. And then became a mom and got into the working world in technology and cybersecurity and a bunch of different things. And just found myself where I was kind of at that point where I've always wanted to start my own business. I always wanted to do something entrepreneurial, but I was a single mom. I had 2 kids in sports, and it was hard to get out of that. So Chris Burgett, the idea guy behind DraftCard, we grew up together, and he came to me and told me about his idea, and I was like, wow, you got to do something with this. This is amazing, and for me, it hit those 3 important things. One, I wanted to spend more time with my kids, and I love sports. I mean, I just love, sports and kids, but also being a single mom, I couldn't afford to get my kids seen to be able to get a scholarship. Right. And so anyways, it kind of hit the philanthropic side. It hit the, hey, I'm, mom side, also the technology side. And it just was, let's do it.
Well, I love the ambition and the courage you showed to make that jump. It's going to resonate with a lot of people listening on. So I think we now have to get into the big 5. On each episode, my guest and I will go over these 5 questions to help you, the listeners, learn what it's really like to be an entrepreneur. You ready to go, Kristin?
I'm ready.
Great. So there are many reasons, situations that lead people into entrepreneurship. You mentioned you were a single mom. You love some of the benefits that entrepreneurship had to offer. Please describe that moment more in detail to relate to our listeners.
Yeah, I think that, I figured at this point in time in my life, if I wasn't going to do something and try, then really it wasn't going to happen. And I would hate to go to my deathbed and say that I didn't try. And, if it doesn't happen and I don't succeed, then at least I tried. So that's what started my entrepreneurial journey, in that crossroads, being the mom, wanting to help people. That single parent in Alabama that has this wonderful kid who's got great grades and wants to play basketball or baseball in college and can't. And it really just hit a chord and like I said, fulfilled all the areas that I wanted to do.
So you had a son playing sports. You were a college athlete. Did you know in the back of your mind always that something will lead you back to sports down the road?
I wanted to be a sports broadcaster initially. And like I said, I feel like I'm almost like a guy girl in that I tried out for a professional women's tackle football. I think I just was a little bit ahead of my time there.
Yeah.
And so I really love the sports side. There's a lot of things that I like to do, but this is probably my biggest passion, and my kids are obviously my biggest passion. And my partner is he was a D1 athlete as well. And he loves kids. He was actually a recruiter for one of the largest recruiting networks out there. And so he was a scout. So he would go out and try to help kids figure out where to go to school and, what they needed to do to get to that next level. So it's a big passion for him as well. And we also started DraftCard.org. So we have a not-for-profit division within DraftCard. So it's DraftCard.com for the platform, for the youth sports app platform. It's actually not just youth now anymore because of the fact that in college you can now brand yourself and make money.
Yes, which is amazing.
Yeah. So DraftCard actually, with everything with COVID and the kids not being able to travel, the coaches losing funding, the camps are done for now. They're going, everything is getting back. But what a great platform for kids to be able to go out and search for coaches, but also for the coaches to be able to put in, I want a 6-foot center volleyball player in California with a 3.9 GPA who's verified.
I love the whole idea behind it. I love the whole concept. But since you've been on your own here, Kristin, what would you say two of the most difficult parts of entrepreneurship are for you?
I think the hardest part was just, we have such a great idea. And the hardest part is hearing no, no, we're not going to fund you, or, no, this isn't going to work, or everybody's like, Kristin, you're crazy, this isn't going to happen. I think that's the hardest part, but the harder than that is hearing yes. It's harder to hear yes than no because of the fact that people will give you a letter of intent for millions of dollars. Yeah. And go through the vetting and going through the backgrounds and spend so much time with you. And then all of a sudden, it's like dating. I say it's like the dating ghosting. It's the dating ghost. It's the ghosting in business. And that's happened to us quite a few times. And I think the other thing is trusting. You just have to learn to trust or to vet through people that you can't trust.
And that's an acquired skill I've learned through entrepreneurship. Not everybody is sincere with their word. I've learned most people don't speak with intention, which can get frustrating. You find ways to pivot. From all your experiences through entrepreneurship, what would you say one of your greatest failures or lessons learned is, and what did it teach you?
Yeah, I think the biggest failure or lessons learned is, again, trusting the right people. I think when I went into this, as both of us, all three of us founders are very trusting. And, you're relying on yourself because we were using our money to fund it. Right. We did raise some friends and family, funding. I think the other thing too is, getting the second round of funding is a lot harder than your friends and family. And, I lay awake just worrying about, number one, just, how am I going to take care of my family, but also how am I going to repay the folks that believed in us and believed in me. And that's